Hey, you can pause if you want to. It's not really that important. I don't post at all, but the marathon hate is stupid. People complain about the simplest things that don't need to be changed, and I wanted to speak of what I know because it's actually unbearable. The most common things I see people complain about is Assassin Shell. He's pretty easy to counter, I'd say, but I'll talk about that in a second. Bubble Shotgun, Solo Cryo, solo gameplay as a whole, Crew Fill, so with Assassin, I was able to get into a friendly solo lobbies so I can get this clip. You're gonna hear his invisibility. Corner real quick. I'm gonna go like second floor across from you, and then can you go invis in like 5 seconds?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, you can go invis. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know how people can have trouble. He's visible and loud. Well, anyways, there's a lot of Steam complaints, and you can pause it here too. They go on to say that Bungie doesn't know how to make an extraction shooter because they are graders in Tarkov, but they've had time to perfect their game, even though I don't agree with some of the things they've done, but that's fine. And they also state that it should have more than an extraction shooter, which they are planning to do, so that point is just stupid. They also go on to talk about shotguns and shields in a close range map. I don't know what they expect people to do to bring a sniper or M77, even though it's not that bad, into a close range map. Meta is meta for a reason. People are going to pick close range weapons on a close range map. I'm not saying the shotgun isn't broken. It does need a small fix, but to complain about it this bad, it's kind of insane. They also go on to say bubble shields ensure all engagements are forced to that range. I actually drew a picture for this, so if you want to look here, you're not forced to. You can always run away. There's always an option. You can use chem nades, grenades, EMPs, destroyer's barricade, smokes, anything. You can use anything to counterplay that. So that point is just, once again, just bad. Then they go on to say the maps are essentially way too small for where a kitted squad wipes the entire lobby. If other people wanted to play safe, they could. They also did make it level-based matchmaking, which I don't agree of. Every extraction shooter should have a no matchmaking. It should be random. The time to kill in the game makes it so people with low gear can kill high geared players, and it makes the game more fun, in my opinion. If you disagree, you disagree. I'd write a comment down if you want to talk about it. They also say they cater to streamers and full-time gamers, which I have no clue how they got that. They have no advantage. No one has a disadvantage. The time to kill in this game is so fast. People with a low gear can kill those players that are better, but then they go on to say the core gameplay was awesome and hope Bungie succeeds, which I hope they do come back because they said they were going to stop playing, but some of those points were just pretty bad. This person goes on to say that people that can buy self-reses and bubbles have a better chance of extracting, which yes, they put in the hours, they actually grinded the game so they can get these type of upgrades, which I think they should have. I don't know if that's crazy to say, but there's my take on that. I'm not gonna talk shit about everyone because I mean this guy did have a good point, saying that the boss telling everyone on the map that you are fighting him does make it easier for people to get jumped, letting lower players and not being able to kill the boss because they're taking longer than people with gear would, which I think they should change. All I think it should say is that the boss is there at a certain amount of time, and that's about the only change they have to make with that. Also made a pretty good point that you can't see anything. Tarkov actually did really good showing the stats of everything, which I think is interesting and people would actually like that. Being able to see what you died to and how much damage you did, they did, with what would be pretty cool. Bungie's probably going to add that, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. What I will talk about is free kits. People going into Phil and bringing in free kits like this guy and then not playing with the team is actually unacceptable. One dead. Other one, nice.
On me, on me. Behind. That hit me through a wall. That hit me through a
Yo,
wall.
Lupin, where you at? Are you killing bots? That's actually a disgrace. Actually, just look at this guy. I mean, it's... What can you do? Well, we're back here. I'm just gonna go on and ramble about solos, because if you paused at the beginning of the video, you can see people are complaining about solo gameplay and how it has no endgame. Oh yeah, nothing else happens in this clip, really. Something embarrassing, but oh well. People talk about how solos have no endgame, which I don't think it should. I mean, sure, maybe in the future, but Cryo isn't one of those. The map has way too much loot, and solos is easier. I know a lot of people are not gonna like that I said that, but as you can see here, if you play smart, you can just wipe lobbies. It's pretty easy. People would make millions off of this, and the loot gap would be massive, like huge. I don't know how people don't find an issue in that. People getting rich every weekend. Oh, not even weekend. People actually want crowd to be open permanently weekdays, weekend, and having solos, having duos. I mean, that would be cool and all, but if it was open the entire time, people would only run that map because it makes so much more money. There would be no point in running any other map, which, I mean, I think would ruin the game, but whatever you guys think. Sorry if I'm jumping everywhere. I kind of ran out of things to talk about, but not really. People say that this game is terrible for solos, even though I mostly play solos. I've made 1.5 million, close to 2 million. I've just been trolling with my money, but it's possible if you just play smart. There's always counterplay. I hate that people don't want to learn how to actually play the game, and I really hope they do. Most people actually just go into the Discord and say what problems they're having, hoping Bungie fixes it, but that would make the game easy, which would lead to the game being boring and people having everything. Oh, I meant to drop ammo there. Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. Well, anyways, I will be making more videos, hopefully, of how to counterplay most things that people are having trouble with, so Bungie just doesn't nerf everything to the ground.
I also wanted to add on to his point about Bungie nerfing everything to the ground because people like complain about stuff. Hi, I'm the editor editing this video. In Destiny, which I believe 70% of the Marathon player base are Destiny players. In Destiny, there was this gun called the Recluse, which was an SMG, and it was really good, and the only way you could get it was by grinding competitive Crucible, and it was so good to the point where Bungie just nerfed it to the ground, and no one used it anymore, which is literally the exact same thing that is about to happen, or like pretty much is happening with the biotoxic disinjector. You know, you had to, go through Choir Archive, you had to defeat the boss, and just getting to the boss fight is easy, but getting to the boss is really difficult. So, there is the power fantasy there of getting a really powerful gun from a really hard activity. And obviously the gun was like, it was very powerful, but you can just run away from it. I've literally done this multiple times before in like a lot of my crowd runs. I do run with him sometimes, so when it was strong, all we did was just run away. Like, we just ran the other direction. Like, it was not that hard. The other team would most likely either die or get out, and you just didn't have to deal with it, so there are ways to counterplay very powerful things in the game.
I heard the bot die. Yep, guys. Following, back up.
Why am I slowed down?
They have the gun, back up!
Yeah,
do not fight
they
this,
have
do
the
not
gun.
fight this one. Run.
Oh, what the fuck? We are out.
But because people don't know how to exactly think critically on their feet, which is, I will say, it's really hard to do, to like think smart while under pressure. A lot of people are not very good at this, so they'll just fight it anyway and then die over and over again to that very powerful gun, which results in online discourse, and then eventually the gun got nerfed to the ground. As you can see, there was like 5, 6, there's so many changes here that significantly reduce the effectiveness of this weapon, despite it being really hard to get, which feels bad because you want to do the hard thing to get the powerful gun, but in this case, you're doing a hard activity to get a garbage gun, which doesn't make sense, right?
Well, thank you for watching anyways. I actually want to know if anyone sees this, for the 200 marathon players left, I hope you have input and things to actually say. So yeah, leave that in the comments. I did get out this raid. I made a pretty good amount of money. So yeah, see ya.